Hey everyone, Eric on Paper, and I want to wish you a really happy Halloween. This is going to be an update video as well as a Q&A video. And please hit like and subscribe for more content because these numbers tie directly into my self-esteem and self-worth, so anything helps. Kidding. First off, we're going to start with the Shocker update. Had a great time filming him. It was a pretty straightforward blue screen shoot. Now, if you've been following my channel, this was something I did pretty early on. I showed off some of the storyboards about how the fight with Shocker was going to go down. And finally, I don't know how much longer later, if I thought about it, I'd be depressed. But we finally did get to filming the scene. The costume looked great, and Anthony did a really great job portraying the Shocker. Yeah, we used him as the sewer worker because he's just such he really goes for it and commits as an actor. And I thought, okay, that guy is got to be a victim of the Lizard. You know, he's got that perfect gusto for a horror movie, but he was initially only cast as the Shocker. He brought a lot of physicality to the role, a lot of body language. We decided to make the Shocker just really, really pissed off. Like, he had a grudge, he had a chip on his shoulder, and he was taking it out on everybody. That was his character. The helmet, I do have a TikTok now. I have succumbed because, as I said, I need the attention. Somebody asked, is that Jason Todd? Well, obviously no. But interestingly, that helmet was a Red Hood helmet that Bryn then proceeded to customize and make Shocker-like. So for the person who asked that question, you got it half right. But yeah, it was a great shoot. I believe, yeah, we wrapped Anthony, and that was our first official supervillain that we filmed because Black Cat kind of lives in a gray zone of morality. But now, on to your questions. I will probably destroy your names because I crashed through language with the grace of a drunken John Wayne. So, please forgive me, and hopefully you get a chuckle out of watching me struggle, you sadist. So, from Igwen Langwen? See? Do you plan to finish the course of the Raimi series with this movie, or do you want to continue the history? Well, here's how I'd answer that one. This film does provide a conclusion for everything. That being said, if the story continued on, we do leave a natural point for a plot to progress, but in terms of like Peter's character arc, what we've seen in the previous three movies, I would say that it is complete. Fans and people who watch this will feel like you got a satisfying ending that is fitting with the theme of the Raimi films and what we've seen of the character. I mean, it could continue, but if you're like, that's it, I'm done with the series, well, we did that for you too. We're thoughtful like that. From Zagan King, will there be Raimi meme references in the film? Yeah, there will. Any kind of Raimi reference we can put in, we will. I'm not going to spoil everything because if I did, if I answered your question fully, it would spoil a moment that I really enjoy. One Raimi reference, not a meme, but I will tell you about. As I mentioned earlier, Anthony was a victim of the Lizard, and there's a scene, there's a scene where he pops out of the manhole. He lifts it up and then is reaching out as pedestrians look on in horror as the Lizard like grabs him and pulls him back down into the sewer. I couldn't resist, and it was another Raimi reference. So we have Anthony reference the first Evil Dead poster. This next question is from Claire Kiersky, a very talented actor friend of mine. She asks, what's my favorite line in the movie? Well, naturally, every line that Smythe says is pure gold. No, but in all seriousness, my favorite lines of the film are pretty much in the Daily Bugle scenes because I love directing comedy. This isn't a spoiler alert, really, but it's when Jameson is cheering out Parker like Peter's on a phone addressing a subplot, and jo Jameson pops out, and unless Spider-Man is sending you nudes at your desk, get out there and take pictures or something like that. Um, I loved pretty much all of Jonah's dialogue. This next question is from Lopez313. Which villain was the hardest to develop in the movie? Well, not talking about building costumes or anything like that, because that's not really in my department. I would say story-wise, Vulture has been the biggest challenge, because we're going with the empathetic villain route that Raimi has successfully done in the previous films. Like if you look at Sandman, Doc Ock, and Norman Osborn to some extent. I mean, I've always wanted to throw a pumpkin bomb and disintegrate my enemies, so in that respect, I could really empathize with the guy, you know? I don't know if this puts me on a watch list. But yeah, we wanted to make sure that there was enough pathos in the Vulture to where you understand why he did what he did, or why he does what he does, but at the same time, there's this point of no return where I felt reading the script, okay, he crossed a line to where Spidey, he has to take him down. He's kind of irredeemable. And finding that balance was a really interesting challenge. This next question comes from the Swanee123. Did you have to rewrite anything when Spider-Man No Way Home came out? Interestingly, not a lot. There were some minor details we did fix to make it in continuity, like in No Way Home he mentions where his favorite building to stand on is, so we updated that because we had a different building in our script, but we're making this film not really acknowledging the MCU as part of a continuity, because we're making it as if Raimi would have made the movie back when he did, where there weren't really plans for like major plans for the MCU continuity or anything like that laid out. This is from Dan Isidore. I believe I hope I said your name right, Dan. You seem pretty cool. Can't wait to see the film. Yeah, me either. Just have to finish making it. Which villain are you the most excited for and why? Well, that should be pretty freaking obvious. I mean, Alistair Smythe, me. No, but no, in all seriousness, the villain I'm most excited for, the two, I'll say, the Shocker, which you were able to see and I got to film, so that was a dream come true. Second, I was most excited to see the Lizard. He's going to be just really ferocious, a really visceral horror creature, and I am extremely excited to put him on camera, and then we're gonna get the proper like horror movie lighting on him during the sewer scenes. And yeah, Lizard is one of my all-time favorite Spidey villains, so we're gonna do him justice. I'm making sure of that. This next question comes from Eric Mannix, who is playing the Vulture, who asks, why is the Vulture actor so handsome? Wow, Eric, really? Okay, if you want me to answer this question, you're so handsome because you need something going for you to counterbalance your personality, so it might as well be looks. Just kidding, Eric. Looking forward to working with you. Again, Samuel G2000 didn't ask a question, he just said, "Shocker!" And to which I say, yes. Erica Mars asks, cinematically, what's been your favorite scene? A really good question. I love the horror stuff that we shot with Chris Piers of Comic Tropes and Anthony, because the lighting was really stylish, but there's another moment in the film that just came out really beautifully, and that's a scene in the Daily Bugle where it takes place late at night, and Daniel, our DP, lit it almost noirish in a way. There's harsh shadows, some underlighting, just gave such a great atmosphere. In fact, Britt was so excited with that scene, he actually did a really early edit of it, saying, "Oh my god, this is just so beautiful." And here's the thing, when Bryn gets excited, it's kind of hilarious. because it's very infectious. But he's like a wound up little puppy. It's kind of adorable. Sorry, Brent, but that's my opinion. Argus Santoro 101. Will Rhino be giant with perspective or made digitally? That's actually a pretty cool and interesting question. I think that the way we're going to end up shooting it is similar to the Shocker scene, where we're getting them in separate element passes, like we're going to film Rhino for one bit on a blue or green screen, and then we're going to film Spider-Man for another bit, and we may just resize them digitally. But I know I've seen the Rhino suit under construction. It's looking fantastic. And what I'm thinking is that it may be easier to cheat and shrink Spidey just a little bit, because we're still going to see like a bit of the Rhino's face. So scaling him up or down, we can get away with it some, but not too much. There will absolutely be a CGI Rhino for a couple stunts and things where we don't want to put the actor in danger. Okay, I want to put the actors in danger, but they keep just being wimps about it, and I'm saying commit to your craft. Saberlin07 asks, favorite villain in the movie? In this movie, as I said earlier, definitely Lizard is my favorite. Shocker's great, and I didn't think a ton about him before, but I know Prowler's going to come off really cool. I loved his appearance in Into the Spider-Verse, so we're taking some inspiration from that. But all the villains here are going to be, rendered great. Yeah, I do have a preference to the Lizard. Rhino, I absolutely love rhinos. They're actually my favorite animal on Earth. So, yeah, really, there's just so many that I love that are going to be in this one. But naturally, Smythe is the greatest thing that ever happened. From Michael Island asks, any Raimi actor cameos? Are they aware of this fan film? No actor cameos, I'm really sorry, but this is a non-union production and they're all SAG, and as much as I would love to, fly out the original actors to do a cameo or something, I just don't think it'd be, they'd probably just be bemused by our offer and say no. I mean, I'd love to get Bruce Campbell to cameo, but I don't think any of the actors are aware of the production, at least to my knowledge. If they see it, I hope that they like it, and I hope that they feel that the actors we're using do their performances justice. Mega Lizard, a longtime subscriber, thanks for sticking with me, Mega Lizard, asks, Prowler fight after this next update? Sadly, no, but Bryn and I were talking about staging the Prowler fight soon. The gauntlets have been designed, and I believe that they're 3D printed. There is an actor that we have cast who's also a very talented martial artist. I'm not at liberty to reveal those details yet. Storyboards and fight choreography have been planned for that scene. It's going to be a pretty brutal scene, and we don't want to risk the Spidey suit getting too damaged. So that's actually going to be filmed toward the end of production. Sorry you're going to have to wait a little bit, but good things come to those who wait. That's what I keep telling myself. Jason G asks, is Gwen going to return? Gwen is referenced in the film. We won't really see her in the production, so if you're a big Gwen Stacy fan, I'm sorry, but there is an in-universe explanation as to where she is and things like that. Ty202 asks, have you taken any inspiration for the film from other media outside of the Raimi movies and comics? Yeah, a ton, actually. See, when Sam Raimi did his Spider-Man movies, he was heavily influenced by like the early Spider-Man comics, like the ones co-authored by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, and then later, John Buscema took over, and so he's pulling from a lot of the Silver Age material, very little Bronze Age stuff, where I grew up with a lot of the 90s Spider-Man, you know, Todd McFarlane and Mark Bagley. To me, those were my Spider-Man artists. Um, and I know you asked media other than comics, but I'm going to say that because somebody asked me this earlier, Torment for the Lizard is where I'm taking most of my inspiration, so thank you, Todd McFarlane. We're even throwing in some minor references to the Ultimate Spider-Man run. Let's just say fans will recognize what we're going for, but it's not super distracting. Other media, the animated series in the 90s, I grew up loving that. That was actually my introduction to a lot of the characters who I would later read about in comics. But I've taken a lot of inspiration from. Very fun show. I highly recommend it. I believe it's on Disney+. Other inspiration that I got, or I'm picking from, is some of the Spider-Man video games. Obviously, the Raimi games have provided some inspiration. I have to admit that, okay, side topic, but if you're listening this long, they had the coolest thing in the first Raimi game where you could play as the Green Goblin, but they had it like, they did new voiceovers where it was like Harry Osborn was in the Green Goblin, but he was trying to be a vigilante, so they like gave a whole new storyline within the same levels. And they didn't have to do that. It was a pretty creative touch. And honestly, that was a pretty cool story, because when he's fighting the Green Goblin, like in-game, they didn't change up who you were fighting, so it was a Green Goblin versus Green Goblin, but they had a different actor voicing that Goblin, and it was this great mystery of who it was. And if you can get a hold of the game, I recommend playing it for that, because it was so freaking cool. I digress. But yeah, my favorite Spider-Man game, though, is actually the one that came out for the PlayStation 1. Let you know how old I am. But Mysterio in particular, when we do his scene, it's taking inspiration from the showdown in that Mysterio level. I'm not sure how you say this name. It's a whole bunch of O's, so ooh, I don't know. Echoes what a lot of people have asked. Release date update. Okay, I'm not going to give you one, because anytime I promise something bad happens with, you know, an actor with health issues or things like that. So it's a jinx. I don't want to jinx it. I'm saying, though, we have more done than I'd say we're beyond the halfway point a little bit in terms of filming this. November is going to be crazy busy in terms of us filming. We have a lot of days of shooting planned, so that's going to push us even further. I'm really hoping next year we get the production wrapped, and then it's on to visual effects and editing and sound design. As you can imagine, effects are going to take a while, but we have good people on there. Unlimited asks, next trailer. Well, Brent's been talking a lot about that while shooting. Like when we were filming Shocker, there's some great moments when Brent said, oh, that's a trailer moment, that's a trailer moment. And I don't have a date for the trailer. I think he's going to want to wait till after this next batch of filming, and you'll see why. I don't want to give it away, but we want to show you more than just the CGI rendering of certain characters. We want you to see their costumes. So I'm thinking maybe next year we'll get a full-length trailer and not a teaser trailer, but don't hold me to that one. Yell at Bryn. TJ Channels asks, how much money did you put into the costume? Me personally, $0. But actually Kickstarter money, quite a bit. I know thousands of dollars went into the Spider-Man costume, and honestly that's a better question for Bryn than for me, but that's where costumes and set dressing and design is where the bulk of the money went for the Kickstarter campaign, and honestly it really shows. The suits look great. Ian Huff Films and Craft Studios. By the way, you comment on every video, and I really do appreciate the support. If you want to be cool like him, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe. Just friendly reminder. Will Ditkovich become Kraven the Hunter? I know that that's a rumor. no, that's not going to happen. Although now I want to do this epic shot in the rain of like maybe Parker Spider-Man's mask is torn off to where we get the half face reveal. You see Dickovich / Craven, spear overhead, looking down, and he's just gonna say, "Rent, Parker." You know, that would be freaking. Why aren't we making this? A name I will destroy. I am sorry. Joav V asks, how many drafts did the script go through? Quite a bit. I think our final draft was around draft 5 or 6. And the writing process I wasn't involved in at the beginning. That's its own story that Brenda's related to me, but even now we're actually rewriting a bit of the third act to, we're going to streamline it a bit more. Not only will this help us get shoot it faster and get the film out faster, but more importantly, it just makes more story sense. Any fun moments from the set, like pranks or bloopers you guys can share? Yeah, a ton of them. I like to run a fun set. We're here to have a great time and make a fun film. I like to do a thing where on an early rehearsal take when actors aren't doing, it's more like just to see, okay, is the blocking working out, or are we in place with lines and stuff like that. I kind of like to photobomb the takes. Like I'll just come in and that and all, or if a character says, "What do you think?" I'll just pop into shot and say, "I don't know." Things like that. I hope Bryn does a supercut montage of that. There are times where, like, we shot this beautiful scene of Peter and Mary Jane in the park where they've had a fight and they reconcile, so they're holding each other, and I just walk up and I just push Bryn over. Things like that where I'm having fun. I don't know if Bryn is, but I definitely am. Tommy Glathar, I hope I'm saying your name right, Tommy, asks, love triangle between Spider-Man, Black Cat, and Mary Jane like in the animated series? Yeah, you bet. It's intriguing. It's going to keep... And what I think is interesting is previously the love triangles have all been about other people interested in, in Mary Jane, like Harry and Peter fighting for Mary Jane, then Jameson's son, the astronaut, and Peter both after Mary Jane. And so what's interesting in watching Mary Jane is seeing how she handles somebody else being interested in, Peter / Spider-Man. But yeah, so there is a love triangle. Characters are very attracted to Peter Parker / Spider-Man, and yeah, Brendan did write the script. I don't know why you're asking. And Tommy asks another question. After 4, will there be a 5? I'm not going to say no, but I can't confirm or deny. I want to see how this goes over with people. If you all like it a lot, then I'd be happy to do a 5. We'll have to see how everyone else feels about it. But that's my answer for that. Delta Productions asked, how long is it taking you to film the shocker scenes? Well, it took us 2 days to film the shocker scenes. The first day was one of our earliest days of shooting. We filmed Spider-Man against the green screen, shot all his elements, and then a while later, we filmed Shocker on blue screen. And since it was all storyboarded out and we knew what we were going for, it took 2 days total. Well, those are the questions I got as of the recording of this video. If you submitted your question late, I'm sorry I didn't get to it, but I'm going to keep doing more of these. They're a lot of fun. I did do a little bit of Inktober this month, but then I had acting gigs, shooting, and other art commissions, so that honestly ate up that time, but it made for some cool art videos I'll be posting in a little bit. Please hit like, subscribe, and if you follow me on Instagram, I like to post sneak peeks of upcoming projects and Spider-Man shots there. Also now I'm on TikTok. I've succumbed as Eric on Paper. So I hope to see you there. Thank you for all your support, and I love making this film for you guys. But in the meantime, keep telling your stories.